Oh, it's okay, mid-carder. The strap helps. It's not necessary. Everything helps, right? He's good without it. I don't think I have any, like, blog stuff today, Ashley, or anything new like that. That could always change in the middle. Sometimes I find that stuff out shortly after I've started because I'm always doing this on Mondays. It's not like I'm signing up because there's something specifically ready. However, I'm going to talk a lot about boss battle today. So if you have struggled with boss battle, if your faction doesn't really get it, there'll probably be a lot of stuff that'll be helpful today, I hope, on the stream. So hopefully that will be worth some people's time as well. Actually, we'll also be talking about some of the superstars I think will be quite good for this boss battle, and that sort of thing. Because just looking at it, I think there's some surprising ones that might really shine. So... I don't have fully played on my Bliss. My fully played is on fully since I'm a mark, so that's where I put mine. Hall of Fame Snoop is definitely on the list. Let's see if I can be lazy. I think that's enough that I can just be lazy. Yeah, it is. Bob, welcome in, Raiders. How was your stream, buddy? Gonna be talking some boss battle today. Hi, Optimal. How are you? That's fine. I don't mind being a mark. Hey, HD. How are you? No plans whatsoever to invest any resources into Acro Macho. Still, no plans whatsoever. I'd rather take my guys that are good at 5-star gold and play with them. In fact, I would rather take a lot of my people at 5-star silver and play with them at 5-star silver over Acro Macho at 6-star bronze. So... he's not ever going to see the light of day. I shouldn't say that. I mean, eventually, if I get an excessive load of resources and feel like being dumb, he might see the light of day. But yeah, he's never going to see the light of day. Well, yeah. Oh, that was me making a match go me. Yeah, Otis is somewhat useful. Unlike Macho. Oh, I totally foobarred this. Really badly. Yeah. That's fine. It's all good. What's up, Donjay? Yeah, no. I'm good at saying what I'm thinking, don't worry. Never a problem there. Plenty of people in this chat can vouch. Yeah, Scott, it's funny, not funny. Yeah, it's in a weird, ironic twist of fate, right? But yeah, there's definitely a card poster, don't find me, there's definitely a poster out there that the majority of the community should have now. That should be very good for boss battle, so we'll definitely be talking about him. Also, I'm really interested to hear a lot of different people's experiences with boss battle so far. This is not good when you don't play this right. Oh, that sounds like a good one, Gladiator. Stardust. I don't have a McLovin. This would be would have been faster just to quit out and redo this, or use a prop, but you know. You probably have a decent amount. Bulldog got me because I play terribly. You probably have a decent amount of people I don't have. I'm not original, like OG at this game. I started when Matt and Jeff Hardy released. #1 gameplay. That's what that means. It doesn't mean 1 star. You mean #1 gameplay. Yeah, it's today's tours. I just was big dumb and made a little cascade. Because technically it's not dumb when you just don't see the blinking light. They tend to blend in for me. And the thing is, I don't even need to put that many down, right? Like, so I don't know why I do it. Hey, camera girl, how are you? Bink, 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 binky, binky, binky. There. I did it again. every time. First time, every time. It's fine. This time is gonna be fine though. There's enough on there. How was my week? My week was, I've had better, I've had worse. It wasn't bad. Gotta pick my kid up from the airport after stream tonight. Hey, Allie, how are you? I'm just making Rocker Sean look as bad as I can here. It's okay. So how many people are in here right now? Yeah, not too many. A few. I should probably post on my server that I actually went live. He went to Texas for the Rocket League championship thingies that are going on down there. He's friends with, what the heck were their names? Well, the one team I know at least made it into the semifinals. He's friends with K-Corp, and what the heck is the other name? I'll look for it. Optic is his other friend. So he went down there, like, I think he met up with at least 4 or 5 of his friends. They rented a house for like 4 or 5 days, and we're hanging out the whole time. He's watching his buddies play, and stuff. So, yeah, can shortage is a real thing for me too, Donjay. So I can't out him because he's 19, because he's super private and nobody knows his like YouTube name, or who like he actually is. But he's got, I want to say, I'm gonna get it right. Let me look up his Let me look up his channel, which I can't tell you because he will be irritated with me. He doesn't want anyone to know who he actually is, which I can respect. So he has a lot of followers now. He's got 106K ish, over 100K. I mean, he might even be up to 120 now. He's over 100K subscribers on YouTube. Like, I'm small time. My son, my 19-year-old kid. Like, he'll put out a video and he'll get 30,000 views in a day. And I'll put out a video and I'll get like 2,000. I'll be like, yeah, I got 2,000 views today. He's like, oh, that's really cool. I just posted a video too. It's doing really well. I'm like, oh, cool. How well is it going for you? And he's like, 30,000. Nah, it's not Zipfly. Salad McLovin. So he was grand champion in Rocket League when he was 16. And he hated how toxic the high end of No, he did not learn that from me. He hated how toxic the top end of Rocket League was, so he switched over from like super competitive to 100% like freestyle. Two Bobs played with him on Rocket League. The stuff he can do on Rocket League is ridiculous. You know, those people that can dribble the ball across the entire ceiling and then score. He's one of those kind of guys. And he also yeah, he also is really big into modding it and making his own games. So he's super good with Unreal Development Kit and modding and that kind of stuff, as well as making his own games. Like he's made a castle tower defense game using Rocket League cars and stuff, and then he's working like on his own base game, as well as making all kinds of custom maps and stuff for Rocket League. So, but he literally that's what he does. So like he does his job is essentially the YouTube thing, because he makes more than enough just doing YouTube now because he's so big. And then he spends all day playing Rocket League, modding Rocket League, and then he makes, you know, I don't know, 10-15 videos a month, just short little ones that cover all of that. Anyway, it's pretty cool. He's way more successful than I am. Faction boss. Make sure you're getting your scouting missions in. Nothing too creative there, right? The big boosts, black gems, green gems, boss abilities. Of note, your yellow moves aren't going to be happening. I would guess that is a defense against KO. Would be my guess. And then also Macho King, yes. I don't know, as someone who doesn't have Macho King, I don't know how much you use his yellow move. Someone that has Macho King can probably clarify that for me. The freeze move is always a big deal. Yes, absolutely. We'll be talking about that for sure, Bob. So people in the chat and stuff, love Boss Breaker, or Boss Breaker, love Boss Battle, hate it. Question one. Two, if you don't like it, why don't you? And do you understand it very well? Yeah, you're not going to be using a lot of moves, right? And these two, every 1 to 2 turns. So I think for all players, yeah, 3 moves for all players. So that one's going to be rough if you get to that. Kofi's day 2, Stone Cold. The shield is also a new mechanic, 2 different colors on the shield. Yes, it does, Scott. It sounds like potentially on our turn 2, we might be dealing with frozen moves. Also, I don't know if this means both of these shields are active at the same time, or if it's one or the other and you don't know. Right? So it could be green shield and black shield at the same time. Maybe it's one or the other, so I guess we don't know about that for sure either, right? I mean, or I don't anyway. So those are like the big things of note. If shield's out, you're not going to do any damage, so you have to take care of it if it's out. These say every 3+ turns. These are every 1 to 2. I am going to assume this goes out on 1, and maybe this goes out on 2, or maybe it's both of them, or maybe it depends on the level. Hard to say, right? And then this would be the turn after that. So, interesting note, like, I think this is going to be a really good one, probably an overlooked one, is Alpha here. Mine is only 5-star silver, so also with Boss Battle. Yeah, I think you're probably accurate, Bob, right? I think you're probably going to be accurate on that. So what would be the difference, for example, Sib, with you being in a lower faction or a stronger faction, and not like, as opposed to anything else? I mean, like, so you're at a huge disadvantage in a lower faction in the MLC, blitzes, every single thing, right? So this boss battle is no different. If you don't have your roster built up, if you don't have resources to burn to level up guys that are going to be good for boss battle, you're not going to do as well. Now, that being said, the nice thing about boss battle is you can turn the level down and still experience the game mode and try and beat whatever your specific group is at, whatever level you're at. That's the thing I like about boss battle. Now, there is a big, like, a lot of people I've seen talk like, oh, it's dumb if you can't beat boss battle on turn 1, or if you can't, I can't clear 12, this is stupid. To me, I like boss battle when it's super hard. I would be fine if sometimes 12 cannot be cleared. I want it to be a super challenging puzzle that's very hard to beat at the hardest level. Like, so there's some kind of end game content for the game. Now that's me, me personally. I get if not everyone likes that. Not everyone wants a challenge. I do. So that's why I like it so much. Alpha is up on the right here because I think he's going to actually be low-key super fantastic for boss battle. And I'll explain why. There are, but they can still, it only takes 4 decent players to do well at boss battle, Sib, and you can rotate people in. Actually, arguably, you can probably get through most of the stuff with 2 really good players, maybe 3. Often, our faction will have some of the same 6 to 10 people doing the bulk of the faction boss work, and we're one of the better faction boss teams, usually finishing somewhere between 1st and 3rd. So between those that played Contra and those that didn't, for sure. Let me find Alpha so it's easier to see on my screen. But why I think he's going to be so good, if you put Eternal Positivity on him, you don't need Elias to load on turn 1, or with a 3 swipe. So a black match with the setup you're looking at, and you're pretty much good to roll. And then once, the thing with Alpha though is once he's going in boss battle, if you have Eternal Positivity, let me get back to him. This moveset right here, you won't have to swipe any gems, and your buff is going to go off every turn. Now, the reason that's a big deal of not having to swipe once he's loaded is that the buff will continue to stack. So every time you do a rotation, you're going to get an extra 82%. So you're going to want to click through this. No, black is 500% master gem, black gems, and green gems are 800%. But this buff is going to work the whole time because you're not going to swipe gems. So you're just going to hit Samoan drop, body slam, Samoan drop, body slam, and after each one you're going to hit the buff in. So it's going to keep getting progressively stronger and grow and grow and grow. Now, with a 5-star silver guy, you can expect to potentially clear 10s and 11s, but you shouldn't ever really expect to clear 12s without 5-star golds unless you're being carried very, very hard. So that's another thing to know too. 5-star bronze is where you want to be usually for 10s, 5-star bronze to 5-star silver. And for 11s, 5-star silver and 5-star golds is where you want to be at. His boss breaker for him, not really great for aggressive in this one. I mean, a crack in the shield, sure, but it's not really going to do a ton for you, this one. Because maybe at higher levels. Let me pull up Goldie's sheet and see if that gets a huge reduction to the shield, unless someone knows right off the top of their head. Otherwise, I need to pull up Goldie's sheet, which she keeps trying to update as people level breakers more. It would be nice to know exactly where everything was at maxed, but I don't think the community's there yet. She does work, wife. She does sound hot. Her spreadsheets are hot, I'll tell you that. Should be in my intel room on my server. Birdie. Faction boss. That's what I want? Yes, this is what I want. So cracking the shield at level 5, it deals 180k damage to the boss, 20% gem damage, and 20% move damage, ignores the boss's shield. So for the next 3 actions. So that's not going to be enough, right? Unless you have the boss almost dead, it's not really going to do a lot for you. If it goes up a huge amount of percentage, cool. But aggressive set I don't see as being like super amazing. Rage will get better as we get more health. Certainly at the health pools we have now, it's not really amazing. Maybe as we start getting 20 million plus people health, something like that. I see what you did there, Black Amura. Exhaust reduces the boss's damage. Now this one can actually come in really nice. It can help your whole team get an extra turn at times because they stay alive if they're under leveled, or just that last move, getting you 1 more turn. So of the 3 this time, I think exhaust would probably come in the most useful, but this is probably my least favorite class for boss breakers, being aggressive. So there's that. But I do think Alpha is going to do exceptionally well. He can obviously break the black shield, and you can stack the black gem damage. I would say you should be able to, assuming you get a black match early on, with the setup you're looking at, you should be able to get 3 rotations, I would think. Anywhere from 2 to 4 rotations a turn. So I would think that would be good. Zombie Black has really slow animations, is my one issue with him. But he does generate, I think, a lot of greens on that one that you're talking about for sure. So, and everyone has Alpha, or most people have Alpha at this point. Chase card, over a year old, I think, at this point. So I think he's a really, really good shout for a lot of people. I think another one that a lot of players have is going to be Riddle. Once he's loaded, the greens recycle themselves. So Riddle will be another one, and he will do green and put out nice multiplies. So he's another one that I would think would be quite nice with the 800% green gem buff. And Riddle is chaotic, which they actually have a good boss breaker. How many? Yes, but how many people have Mutant Roman though, Master Jim? So that's more what I'm trying to focus on. Like, so super rare ones that'll be really good. Hall of Fame Sheik with both gears. Roman should be really good. A lot of people are thinking Striker, HBK. I don't think as good as people think he's going to be. I think that's what most people are going to try that have new HBK. But I don't think that's going to be nearly as good as people think, because what they want to do isn't going to recycle well. So unless they're blowing props, I don't think it'll do nearly what they think it will. Hall of Fame Brett, yes, should be quite good. Honky Tonk Man, the new free one, will be really good. For sure. What do you mean, Brandy plays? In Feud, he can hit really hard. You're not going to hit for 17 million in Feud, but I think I was hitting for 12 to 15 million at 5-star silver. Maybe you can hit for 17 mil, 20 mil in Feud, but that won't necessarily translate over to boss battle. Braun will be strong if you have him set up right. Braun should be strong. But so with boss battle, you don't get the huge boost on the stuff, and then the moveset you're talking about does not recycle very well, unless it doesn't recycle too well at all. So, and there's not really a skill plate that works like black to green or something like that, which would make the recycling not an issue. So I think a lot of people are going to try with Striker Sean, and I just don't think Rocker Sean. I don't think he's going to do as well as they think. But he's certainly one that I'll tell people, like, yeah, go ahead and try him. I think that's the one everyone's like, ooh, this is going to be the best one. Sure, if you want to swipe. Yeah, I just don't know if you want to rely on getting a green match on the board, Evo. Uso will probably be quite good. Yeah. I mean, how often do you... No, I don't think Tech Dawkins will be super great. No multiplies. Just a green cluster. I don't think, like, unless it's the entire board. Yeah, Braun will definitely be good. Unless it's the entire board, if you don't have multiplies, it's probably not going to be really great. So maybe fine, like up to 10. Past 10, not so much. You need something extra to get that damage, because what a last boss, anyone remember? I want to say a 10 had what? Is it 200-ish million, 240? Was that 10? Was it 240 million health? Does that sound right to you guys? $162 was 240 then. The next tier, 11s HD, and I want to say it was over 500 for 12s. Razor would obviously be really good. Tech Razor would be super good for this one. Super duper good. Yeah, 12 was over 500 million. So that's more what I'm talking about. I mean, Striker Braun, you're going to have to do something along... you have to... I think it would be this one with a tiara, and you're buffing it. I've never used him for boss battle. Yeah, it's a midweek. Personally, but I believe this is the moveset. Because you make the columns, the tiara goes off. If you do it right, you don't have to swipe, and then you can keep growing them. So do you guys understand what I mean by when I'm saying growing the move damage or the gem damage and swiping? Does everyone understand what I mean when I say that? Because that's an important concept for boss battle that I think not a lot of people understand, and makes a huge difference. Yellow move won't work. You're not wrong. So yeah, that pretty much puts him out. So nope, you won't be able to use Braun. Okay, I'll try and explain the percentage thing. So Braun is out. Don't even think about using him. Yellow move. So the way the percentage thing works, let's take... we'll take my Acro HB, or my Striker Rocker Sean here, since people are talking about him being good. Here's why. Here's the moveset that hits really hard. This move, off of the multiply move, and of course you choose to fill in the multiply, you don't want it to go down. Now the plate is right here. Whenever you break 6 or more make 6 or more multiply gems, increase your black gem damage by 50% for 2 turns. If you don't swipe in boss battle, you don't lose a turn. So if you can get a build set that uses a plate that grows either the move damage or the gem damage, and you don't have to swipe, like I was talking about with Alpha at the start, that gem damage is never going to go down, and it's constantly going to go up. So as long as you don't have to swipe with Alpha here, which is why the moveset I had on the screen is so important, you're going to be able to hit super duper hard pretty quickly. Because you're buffing your black gem damage by, what's a swipe? When you make a 3 match, or a 4 match, or a 5 match, that's a swipe. When you match gems with moving the board. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, I can go here. Let me just play Alpha real quick. Let's just go. I need to do Stip Tour today anyway for the event. So let me go into a Stip Tour and I'll show you. So everything works off of the base jam. So it's not going to grow exponentially huge. If Kofi's base gem damage is 11k, it's all going to be off of that. Yeah, Snoop's going to be fine. But he's not going to have a move that grows his moveset, right? For boss battle, that's quick. Although we could use Snoop for this. I'm going to go into normal mode with Alpha here. Because he won't max hell because he's the wrong color. Okay, so in boss battle, you start with these two, one black match, and you're gonna be rolling. So you do need a black match, but after that, you won't have to move the bar. Triple H, miles better. I'll explain that in a second, Ken. So I'm not going to the buffs every turn, so I'll just go ahead and hit it. But after you're full, so let's say this is a black swipe in boss battle. That's a swipe. That's a turn. So when I swipe, that's a swipe. And that costs a turn. All right, so now this would be, even though pretending in boss battle, that doesn't end your turn. But swiping does count as a turn in boss battle. No. It would be 150% from the buff, 800% from the extra, so it would be 950% to the base. Always off of the base. It doesn't grow exponentially. So our black gems are 26,570. We hit the buff move. They're at 38k. If you don't swipe in boss battle, they're not going to go down. They're going to stay at 38k. If you have Eternal Positivity on, when you do this, it's going to refill all of your moves, all of them, and you will never have to swipe. So every single time you do this in boss battle, your damage is going to go up. If you don't swipe on the boss's turn, it stays going up. So as long as you don't do things in boss battle, so see how it says 2 turns? We'd still be at 3 turns in boss battle. So basically, as long as you don't have your moves foobarred over, you're just going to keep getting. Now we're at 50k black gems. And then you'd have the 500% on top of the base to start with. So that's why Alpha is going to be really good, because you're not making a swipe, so you're never giving up your turn. So the buff just keeps stacking and stacking and stacking in boss battle. Does that make sense? Do you understand now what I mean by swipes, percentage, growing the gem or move damage? Yep, it just keeps growing and growing and growing. The longer the match goes, the harder he's going to hit. So the longer the boss battle goes, the harder it's going to hit. I don't know if he'll be king, but he is one that a lot of people have that will be really, really good. No, I wouldn't, MJ, because that takes more time. And it's about getting the buffs, right? Like at the start, you want every cycle, you're getting another 82%, right? So I think that the more you stack that, the more it's going to matter. Right? So Alpha, and he'll get rolling with a green or a black match, and then it's just no more swiping. So that's what I mean by growing the gem. From now on, if you hear me say growing the gem or move damage, that's exactly what I mean. Okay, so that's part of how boss battle works, is you have to set up and grow some of these classes. You can actually grow, whether it's through a buff or it's through a skill plate, like the sub plate that adds green and purple, the Uso cap plate that adds silence gems. If you can get them on a character where you don't have to give up a turn, then you can keep hitting the buff. Yep, Donjay I have a thing for that too. because Donjay was telling me about this. So see how he's got the buff? You can do the same. Mine isn't 5-star, so I can't show you this build. Donjay actually sent me this. This one for Sean. Painbringer. There's a lot of different people that I talk to that help me understand this stuff too, and we bounce ideas off of each other. So most anything in this game that somebody tells you is likely not their original idea. It's just something you've worked off of with other people. Somebody told you an idea. Maybe you took it a little farther. Maybe you didn't even improve it at all. Yes, eternal positivity. That's what in boss battle will load the purple. If you don't have eternal positivity, you're going to be a couple MP short since it's a 4 area and it's a 6 or 7 move. You will need eternal positivity for boss battle to not have to swipe the board and give up your turns. So it really depends. The sub thing is interesting. Edge is another one that certainly has viability with greens. Easier to show in boss battle where the boss doesn't... and it's great, it's green stips. So some of these green guys that I actually have leveled, we can actually run in stip. It's not the same as boss battle, of course, but it is kind of close. You could do that too with the buff. Oops, let me just autofill this. Absolutely, Beanie. Trick Biggie is 100% on that list. So Danger Team, if you have currency, like I don't even cash mine in anymore for that. There's a ton of them. I mean, they're cheap on the prize wall that you get each month with talent up and stuff. I don't even know how many I have saved up now because I typically don't need any of those. It's on there though, so it's an easier one to get. Edge, you say. So Edge does have the green buff, which you're probably talking about not using the sub, McLovin, is what you're saying. So you can put this one in. And I'm assuming you're going to use the choose. Is that what, yeah, that's the one you would use. And then you just get back to the choose. So you will have to choose back and forth, which does take time, but it's another case. And the finisher is going to eat 1 turn. So you will only get 2 stacks, because when you hit the finisher, no, I'm wrong. I don't think, this I'm actually not sure of. The finisher might not eat a turn because it's not a finisher in boss battle. So that I'm not sure of. I haven't used someone. Actually, I have. No, yeah, you're right. That should work. That should work fine. This is another one that's going to be really good right here. Honky Tonk Man. Does Riddle have a buff move? I would have to look at Riddle. I think Mutant Seth is a good starting point, Flo, because you can grow his moves. Anyone that can grow moves is a good, fine starting point. But I think Mutant Seth will probably do quite well, to be honest. Assuming you have good bells and whistles for him and something to grow his damage. Why am I at this? I want... Tech Kofi's going to be really good too, Phil. Absolutely. If you have Tech Kofi leveled, he's going to be a rock star. For sure. You can keep buffing the gem damage. He should be quite good. There you are. Yeah, KO won't be a factor in this one, sadly. KO was my boss battle guy. Kofi would be really fun if someone has him at 6-star for the boss battle. A little bit jelly if anyone was able to do that. Even at gold and stuff, he's going to be really good, but 6-star, he should be really fun for this boss battle. And I do like that Edge's finisher is random, so that saves a bunch of time. Those are the things you need to think about in boss battle. Random is much, much better than choose. Choose takes a lot of time. So generally, I'm not a huge fan of anyone with choose in boss battle, unless it's an area. Why? It's Hall of Fame Hall. It should be right at like 17k. How many times have I went by him? A bunch. Yeah, get enough to max it and then just swipe it out. You can get stips done in like 5 minutes. Hey Ben, how are you? But Office should be really good. Riddle should be really good. Hall of Fame Snoop. Motu Big E, if you have his gear. Surprisingly good. He's got a buff, so Eternal Positivity you can grow as well. So Edge is going to be these 3 moves over and over for boss battle. And they'll recycle. That could potentially be a thing for sure. If he's one of your golds and you don't have to level anyone, I think that's absolutely worth a try. It is 10 MP, so you might want... see, normally you would hit the buff there if it was filled, obviously, because I just missed a buff, right? You would hit the buff for sure, every time it's up. Also with this build, the Honky Tonk plate might help to potentially fill the buff more, but do remember, I don't know evolution. That's what I can't figure out. I think because I haven't used a ton of finisher while I'm keeping track, I feel like the finisher will take a stack turn off, but I don't know that for sure. So if anyone has absolutely 100% verified that, that would be nice to know. But in boss battle, you don't have time to do like cute stuff like 5 matches and all that BS to try and get more. No, I don't know, Recognize. I don't think Kofi would be better than Razor. I think Razor is better than Kofi. But I haven't played them both at 6-star, obviously. I think the question is, honestly, DX Triple H, DX Army Triple H, I think is ridiculously good. I think it's between Triple H and Razor at Tech, honestly. I think that's the competition, for sure. And Razor did just get Gable for finishers, too, which could potentially help him. Although a lot of people run interesting build for him. I'm not sure I agree with it, or that's how I would go. With some of the builds I see the high-end players using, I think there might be some different coaching and trainer options that could benefit a little bit more, but I don't have a Razor, so and I definitely don't have him 6-star, so I would just go with what they're doing and assume it's good. I would do something different though. Evo and I have talked about it a little bit. But yeah, so Edge, yeah, Edge could definitely be great. We're sitting at what, 3 stacks or something? and at least you're not here. But the choose 6 gems will be a little bit whatever. But if you already have edge leveled, yeah, then he should be a great option. And he's becoming less rare. I would still say he's fairly rare-ish if you're outside like a top 10 faction, but he is becoming somewhat less rare. Zombie Drew? I think a free one like Honky Tonk Man would be a better choice, to be honest. Yep, RJ. If you have Uso leveled, that certainly might be fairly solid, right? Anyone like we're talking about where you can grow the move damage, and with the Uso cap plate, he can definitely do that. Hey, Momo. Hi, buddy. Hi. You want me to hold you? Okay, come here. Good boy. Have you? Good boy. Yeah. My good boy. Want me to hold you while I'm streaming? Yeah. You don't know this, but there's a bunch of people listening. Yeah. Very good boy. I stream right after getting home from work, and he definitely, Mrs. Mherex and I go to work in the morning, so he spends all day without us, and we get home. I get home first, and he's usually extremely affectionate. Yeah, you like the nose rubs, huh? He's got his snoot up in the air, just having me scratch the bridge of his nose, and his mouth is open like, ah, love me, love me. He's a good boy. It's times like this I should have a webcam. It instantly make the stream better. I don't use Hall of Fame Hogan, if that's who you're talking about. Powerhouse Hogan is interesting choice. With all the black gems he generates. Yep, Hall of Fame Brett. Mine isn't leveled. Hall of Fame Brett would be good. I do. Powerhouse Hogan's an interesting shout. What do you guys think? With the tiara? Another decent shout. Again, don't know if the finisher will kill it or not. Kind of thinking it might count as a turn. Zombie Drew, yellow, black, black. Recycles. Let me take a look, BM, Burkhart. Yeah. Really, really like Big E. I do have a webcam and choose not to use it. So, another green choice here. Hey, buddy. Good boy. Snoop. Awesome. Thanks, HD. All right. So if finishers aren't triggering a turn, that's even better. So edge should be quite well. It should be quite well. Do quite well then. This setup here, if you have this, you put a Lundra in, because remember your perks don't work in boss battle. Oh yeah, yellow moves. Can't use anyone with a yellow move. It'll recycle like crazy. You don't need 17k Santa Hogan. He's just in there for... Oh, someone asked this earlier. Let me show you guys how to figure out if flat damage or percentage is better. People will say things all the time, like it's always better in a certain scenario. That is not true. It is dependent on one thing and one thing only, your base gem damage. What I mean by that is if you go in here and you look, his base green gem damage is 9,261. 20% is like 1,800 and change gem damage, so flat's better. If you go on a striker and they have 15k, obviously 3,000 is better than 2,200. So it's simply you take the base and see if the percentage is more than the flat. It's really simple. And that's a great sheet. Goldie, feel free to link it. Oh, it's a picture? Okay, let me save it. Save images. Wait, oh, does this have the... Oh, so this is metals. Do you have one for, do you have one for the trainers too? Percentage trainers or, flat trainers? Or am I missing that? Yeah, somewhere. This is great though too. This is for metals. This will help probably a lot of you. Oops, I made it a hair too big. It tells you what number to use percentage over flat for your metals. So if you have Alundra, because keep in mind perks don't work, you'll start with the spear loaded. This is assuming you have silver gear. If you don't have silver gear, you're going to need a green swipe, and then you might be better off starting with black, if a black swipe will load it, which I think it will with 4 and 3. No, it won't. So I would still start green and get a green swipe. Got you, Goldie. And then you're just gonna hit this button and that button and that button and just recycle it every time. But you need a Lundra in boss battle for it to recycle every time. And this will get you, what do we got? 49 minus 42 green gems every time. But they don't grow. But that's 42 green gems every time. So Snoop will be fine, right? But it is 3 moves for 42 gems, and they're not multis or anything, and there's no buff. Again, I saw the sub mentioned earlier, but the sub is yellow, and it's choose, and I think it's going to be difficult to recycle everything if you don't have all of the greens, right? On the board, and yellows and stuff, so I don't think you'll be growing it. I think this would be the more efficient way for Snoop. For sure. And it should hit 8 times harder than whatever I'm throwing up here in boss battle. So like 1.4 million, so like 10 million a cycle, give or take, if you had your Snoop set up similar to mine. So if you get, let's say you get 3 cycles, that's 30 million damage. And what did we say a 10 was? 124 million? That gives you an idea where you need to get, right? So if you have 4 people that can get 30 million a cycle, you can probably beat it close on turn 1 on a 10. It's just a numbers game, right? Then it goes up to 200, and this might be different because it sounds like this is a showboat. So expect more hit points. So it might be higher, but that's just as an example, you know, 8 to 10 million a cycle, with a Snoop, right? And then you're going to have to cycle all 3 moves every time. But yeah, I think he's going to be beefy Evo, 100%. And you're just trying to click it as fast as you can. Yes, so the defreeze is going to be very important. The defreeze, which is that on chaotic? We'll have to, let me pull that up. There's, I think it's chaotic if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, on Snoop you would use Luger and Santa Hogan at 2.2k if you have them instead of Lacey, because his base damage isn't super high. Yep, Evo, it's probably 2 or 3. That's the downside, right? Because it's so many moves, it's probably 2 or 3. But should give you a baseline of where you can get. So if he's the best you got, cool. For Green Breaker. I kind of feel like Riddle is going to be a better option than Snoop for sure. You'd probably get 3 when there's time once again out, or its time rather. So Chaotic has its time, which is really useful. You can get almost a full half an extra turn if 3 people use it. You should absolutely be using boss breakers. Its time overall is one of the best ones. It's in Chaotic and quite useful. By the time it gets to 8, it adds 10 to 15 extra seconds to the player's turn, and it's on a 100-second cooldown. So you can use it like every other turn. Neutralize won't remove the shield. Shield isn't removable with Neutralize. Neutralize removes buffs, like not the shield. The only thing that removes the shield is the gems themselves. You gotta break the gems. Should not remove the shield, otherwise there's no reason ever to have Kraken the shield in the game. Neutralize definitely shouldn't work on an ability. If it does, you'd never use anything. Really? Okay. They probably don't know that. So yeah, just bring Neutralize in then, and you don't need to worry about any of the color buffs if that actually works. Definitely worth trying. Just have it at level 1. 160-second cooldown will be turn 3 when the boss uses it anyway. So you can try it out at level 1. I think better than Snoop is definitely going to be Riddle. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, they definitely need to fix it. So I'm interested in boss battle working right. 100%. And also, this is live on the Champions Twitch stream, BD. Just FYI. So, you know, if anyone cares enough to actually watch it, they'll know. But I'd much rather boss battle work right. Because otherwise, you get overcorrections generally. Yeah. So, full disclosure, guys, I would always rather the game work as intended and properly, good or bad, properly. Much rather have it work as designed, because then we have a shot at making game modes that are decent. Right? Otherwise, why are we even bothering? What do I know, though? So, Riddle, probably with Matt, I would say. Because once he's going, he's going. So Matt for the multiply. There's always hope. Same thing, flat is going to be better. Not everyone has flat, though, at the Lacey spot. Yeah, Riddle should be great, especially if you got him 6-star. In your case, percentage is very likely much better than flat if you have a 6-star Riddle. I haven't done the math. I don't know what your base is, but if it should likely very much be. Oh, right. One Snoopy Dog surprise. I promised him a surprise on this stream, and I don't know if you guys know this or not, but Scopely's been looking for a community ambassador, which is a player in the game that seeks to make the game better for everyone. And Mr. One Snoopy Dog has been nominated for this role. It consists of things like helping people figure things out in the game, responding to DMs because Scopely's not always around. You can always go into his DMs, slide into his DMs, and he can help you. If your tickets aren't working, he can get them expedited. You know, if you didn't receive something properly from an event, he can get that fixed. He's pretty much, he pretty much can fix anything and everything for you guys. It's kind of amazing. Congratulations, one Snoop Doggy. Yeah, you can post his in-game name too, and also his Discord name. Absolutely, Evo. I'm sure he'd appreciate it. I know he's really busy answering questions right now. I told you I had a surprise for you, one Snoop Doggy. Most helpful man in the game. Thank you for reminding me. Very much. So this is how I'd run Riddle for boss battle. Also, shout outs to Donjay, who's ran Riddle a bunch in boss battle. And I was trying to decide if more green matches would be better or not. And he's like, bruh, he recycles everything. What are you talking about? I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. He only needs he doesn't really need any of that beyond turn 1, so I don't need to worry about Seth on him. Right? So you can always gamble with Riddle. In particular, in boss battle, you would want to gamble with him. Because you can't pin, right? So why not? Why the heck not? So Riddle, great. Although you're not going to always reload the purple, right? But yeah, Riddle with the multiplies and such, he's gonna be hit really, really hard. Really hard. So they say. No, because he makes green. I mean, he can, as long as you clip a purple. So Miller, if you want to make sure you don't run out of green, here, I'll go back here and we'll just do one row break that clips a purple in boss battle. Just make sure one of your row breaks with the choose, because you're choosing 10. Just clip a purple every time, then he'll always make greens, right? And that'll get you, make sure you can keep a bunch of multis out there. So like we could just clip this purple. We'd also clip the green. That's taken care of. We got those multis. We no longer need to worry about it. And then we can just match all of our other ones like so. And then we would clip that purple in boss battle. Bob's our uncle. We hit for a bajillion damage, you know, etc. So yeah, Riddle should be really good too. Swag. We got lots of pin bar. Let's gamble. Yeah, you could still use Riddle. Hope if you don't have Razar, you would be stuck with Trick Macho for 2, or paying the subscription for King of Kings for 2. You definitely are going to want Scott Hall at 17k. Luckily, Hall of Fame Hall was free. So you would want him at 17k for the 2 gem generate. Absolutely. So, also, potentially, if you have Hall leveled up, you could try and focus more on green gem damage, although I don't think it'll be as good as the extra green gems. So there's that. So that's the row break, takes care of a purple if we were in boss battle, and then we can just go about our business as whatever. But again, it's a choose, so it can potentially be a little bit slower than you like, and I obviously didn't choose that one because I'm big dumb. So there is that, right? Zandal. If the gem damage is 1100 or 11,000, 20% and flat are exactly the same. So anything over 11,000 is better than a flat if it's 20%. Anything under, the flat is better if it's 20%. Does that make sense? Fair enough, Snoopy Dog. Fair enough. Right, Miller? Boss battle, that's the thing. You don't want to be thinking. You just want to be clicking furiously. So the better characters that you can get that let you do that, so much the better. Okay, my stip tours are over. There's some green ones and setups for them, how I'd play them. Yeah, apparently neutralize. Try neutralize first, don't level it, because one should be plenty. If neutralize takes down the shield, which it definitely shouldn't, but sounds like it is, use neutralize until they change that. If they don't change it, then I guess they intended that to be the case, which doesn't make sense to me, but go for it. If neutralize doesn't work, then you're going to want to go with its time. There's no way neutralize is supposed to work, but it definitely could, and if it does, that'll make taking the shield down super easy. Gotcha, Miller. So what I've done for boss battle, actually, Miller, is I'll use Stip Tour to kind of practice for it and give me an idea of how it'll feel. It's not perfect because it's not boss battle, but it does kind of let you set up somewhat similarly. Then you have to take perks out of the equation too, and use some of those plus 2 MP on a match are super clutch and let you do interesting things. Let's see, where else are we at? There's been, I'm sure I've missed some really good questions earlier while I'm trying to explain other questions or other things. So, you know, just let me know. If I missed something that you asked, we can kind of go back to it, revisit it. Big E. Motu Big E, especially if you have his gear and the Eternal Positivity plate, is going to be quite good. Let's actually just go into... right on, Phil. You know, I do what I can. What can I say? Let's go back here. Go to normal, because it won't matter what damage I do. He's a trickster. Derp. Where are my tricksters? I think they're right in the middle. So no matter how you filter it, you gotta scroll a while. So if you have his gear, in particular the one that generates 3 more black gems, quite useful. Boss battles are very expensive. You really only need these two. The other move you're not going to use. So, you know, also boss battle, where you position your moves is super important. It can save you a ton of time. So, opposite of how I would normally set them up, I set it up backwards in boss battle for me. So you can click them faster, right? So Big E, if you have Eternal Positivity, and I don't, right now, every time you get a black match, the buff is up. So you're going to be spamming the buff huge. The fact that it's one turn isn't really going to matter because you're hopefully not swiping, right? So we're a base at generate 6 at this level. This move doesn't matter. You don't use it. You're just spamming these two over and over. You want to get started with the black, so you'll use Woodsy here for 4, and you need Elias to get an extra, but probably better is making a 3-match count as 5. So you can do one of two things. This is an 8 MP move, so Elias would be probably best. But you could also use Elias and Alundra, but then you're not generating as many black gems. So you kind of have to find the sweet spot there, right? But Hall of Fame Bella, 2 extra. Oops. And then you put, for boss battle, the more the better, right? So you don't need to worry about pinning, don't need to worry about the pin bar. And then you go ahead and put Elias here. So 2-3 matches does the job for you. Because you get 8 MP for 2 3s. Hopefully that makes sense to everyone. Right here. And then you would throw Titus here. So if you have the gear, you're going to be up to a lot. 3 more than we're going to see, like 12. You'd be chucking 12 every time with the gear and this setup. And 2-3 matches would reload it, and any 3 match will fill the buff. So it would be buff, spam, buff, spam, buff, spam, buff, spam, buff, spam. Like Alpha, except you theoretically could miss, but only 2 moves instead of 3. So the 2 moves instead of 3 is great. Do keep in mind, though, you're going to need, if you don't have 17k Santa Hogan, and you have his gear, you're at 7 MP. Nope, I lied. 4 and 3 is 7, plus 1 for your turn in boss battle. Never mind, you'll start ready to go in boss battle with this, just like this, and then you just start the spam. So buff, spam, nonstop. Hopefully you don't miss. But I would imagine spamming 12, you probably won't miss, and you obviously don't have to worry about pinning, right? So you're just growing the buff, spam buff, and I don't have Eternal Positivity on either. So you just be growing and growing and growing. These only last for 1 turn. Maybe you could argue that. So Blaze and Elias would count as 3. So 1 3 match would give you 6 MP. You need 8 MP to get it off, Evo. So I feel like Elias is the sweet spot and 4 extra black gems. Does that make sense? Because 2-3 matches gives you 8, and the move is 8. And Elias and Blaze would give you 6, and you wouldn't get to the move. So I think chucking the 4 extra black gems would make you much less likely to miss, I think. That's not been determined for sure. But if you had Eternal Positivity, some variation of this, either what Evo just said or what I'm running here, and you're just spamming these, buffing, spamming, buffing, spamming, buffing your whole turn. And it's only 2 moves. Also, if you keep the moves on the left side, you get to them faster. Very important. It saves you a little bit of time in boss battle. So set them up on the left side in the order you want to use them. Right, because we have 0 perks. Exactly, Evo. So to me, I think Titus would be the way to go, because you need 2 matches anyway. So then Elias gives you 8 with the 2 matches, and that's kind of the sweet spot, right? But yeah, this should be really great for the boss battle too. Just chucking all of these black gems with an Eternal Positivity in the buff. So if you're a Big E fan and you got his gears, he should do quite well in this boss battle if you already have him leveled up, or if he's someone you want to level up. Also, Trickster is not a very good class anyway compared to the other ones. And he'll be useful for the faction scout mission, because Biggie is today. So you can kind of triple down on all of that. Plus, he's great for New Day and Big E requirements. So not bad. And let's see what class he is, so we can see what breaker he gets. Sorry, what style he is. You guys understand why Big E's a decent choice with Eternal Positivity too, right? Because he can grow the move. Yes? You understand? Everyone understands? No one knew since we went over that? Chaotic's great. Time once again. Or it's time, rather. Neutralize if, in fact, that does work. Again, that would surprise me at being intended, but it's worth trying if it works. Because you can find out with it at level 1, so you don't have to use any boss breaker currency. Also, any questions about boss battle that I haven't went over that you're interested in, things like that? What time is it too? Oh, we got plenty of time. Cool. Still got like 40 minutes. My choice for defensive is Master Gable. Don't have him yet. Master Gable and healing. I went over exactly why in my preview video of Gable. I did a boss battle build for Gable and exactly how I'm going to build him. So just watch my Gable preview video and he will totally cover what I think about boss breaker and a healing set and just how useful that is going to be. Any defensive guy can run that sort of build if they have healing. So Dom, Booker T, Sammy, Mankind, Boiler Room. These are all guys that can absolutely be healers for your entire squad, your whole faction. I stay away from choose guys. Zombie Triple H is going to be a ton of choosing. So I personally would look for anyone that is much less choosing, as you can only get so many moves off with all of that choosing. But great defensive guys with the healing boss breaker ability. Sammy, Boiler Mankind, Dom, Gable. Those are the defensive healers that come to mind right off. So Dom's super good though too with it. I actually have my breaker on him leveled up from last time. It's at level 7. At level 8 it gets really juicy. Just so everybody knows, the helping hand at level 8 heals the 3 lowest health teammates by 25% of their HP, and the cooldown is at 75 seconds. The way I see boss battle potentially evolving, and I could be wrong about this, but for those of you that have played role-playing games, in particular MMOs, your 4-party teams usually consist of a tank, a healer, and 2 DPS. If you keep your whole team alive and give them a lot more turns, if the boss doesn't have a full heal, it basically means you can beat content that's much, much harder than you otherwise could. So having an effective healer, I think, is going to be super important, extend the duration of the battle, and let you beat stuff you couldn't. I hope one day we get a boss battle breaker that allows you to absorb all of the damage for your teammates. So, like, I don't know what class I would put it in, but it would be really cool to take a buff showboat, let's say like a Gable, an Otis, a JBL, a Miz, and be able to absorb with the boss breaker all of the damage that turn so your teammates don't take any. I think that would be super cool, something I would like to see them add. There will be no secrets on boss battle starting next month when I start streaming it live, Evo, so There, anything I do in boss battle likely is going to be revealed very quickly. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, Joseph. I don't really want to talk about it, but yeah. Boss, yes, I do. I'm not putting anything into him at all. He just is going to give you 1,000,000 points in feud and win slower than my 5-star bronze characters. Green gem damage, L-boy. The fact is, so I'm not a heart expert. Mine isn't leveled up. So anything I tell you is going to be on paper. Not having done, I would 100% trade you Otis for Macho, Joseph. I would make that trade in a heartbeat. His finisher is a 3x3 area to swap into green. If you want to go that route, you're going to lay it over the multiplies. And they're buffed. His green gem damage is buffed 800% in this boss battle. So yeah. So the problem with Macho is he has nothing to improve his gem damage. Oh, someone else that's going to be super duper good this boss battle. Definitely more rare, but no one has actually mentioned him at all. Showboat Orton. I don't think anyone's mentioned him today. He's going to be really great. Make the whole board green, and his Juggernaut gems, 4 of them, are going to buff your green gem damage. In this stream, Goldie, nobody in this stream has mentioned him. Oh, yeah. Can't use the yellow. Never mind. I actually said nobody had him, Black Chapters. Thank you for copying me. Yeah, yellow move. Can't use him. Burp, 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 burp. Stunning Steve. He should be quite good. %200 boost on his Juggers. Leaves the multiplies. You do have to place him. So there's that. Yeah, like I said, I would be actually a fan of them banning characters on specific boss battles. Right? Like, have a one-time ban list for that boss battle. So you ban, let's say you don't want them to use KO or Macho King, you just ban KO and Macho King. Really easy. Really easy. I think you can run him triple black still and stay away from it. I'm not sure. I don't have Macho King. He's one of the few characters strikers I don't have. I'm missing a lot of other classes, but I have most of the strikers. I mean, they banned him from Stip Tours, essentially. They changed how the pin bar worked, so why not? I don't think it's asking for problems at all. They banned characters in League of Legends, all kinds of other games. People would throw a fit and then get over it because ultimately it would make the game more and more fun. And basically they're just banning them now, just in a different way. And then you can't use any other character that would be fun. So actually it'd be a huge win for the community. Not my fault if people are too stupid to figure that out, though. No, it won't stack. It'll just be the one-time Evo, sadly. Hey, so you're, as long as his Juggernaut gem isn't yellow, yeah, you could still use Macho, because the finisher makes black. So you absolutely could still use Macho. They'll be able to get around that. You can still use Macho. So KO was fine the way he was when he first came out. When his trap gems were like 7 or 8 MP, he was just fine. He was quite good. In fact, quite good. But he definitely didn't need a buff. Yeah. So yeah. Let's see what to do. Yeah, Macho will be fine. I think that's a lot of them. Trying to think if anyone else has. So Champa with Uso plate could be interesting. Sadly, there's nothing that gets back to the purple though. Really sad. It's so close. If there was like a green to purple, so a reverse of the what's the name of that one that we have that's green to purple that I can't think of. You could just hit these two moves over and over with an Uso plate, and he would be amazing. Because he'd just be able to, yeah, the reverse glowing phantom. Thanks, Goldie. Now, you could also still use this, potentially anyway, and still have it be fairly effective with greens because they are super low charge. So I think Champa also could potentially be interesting, especially with an Uso plate, but much better if you could get back to this 2 MP purple. Okay, so I guess we don't play then, HD? Also, not necessarily for sure, because if you remember last time, they said that the heal was on turn 2, and it was actually turn 3, and this says every 1 to 2 turns. So, I don't know that it's going to be frozen right away. Mm-hmm. So, I kind of feel like this is going to be on turns, like, you're going to go 2 turns, and on the boss's, start of the boss's second turn, I feel like it's going to freeze. I feel like this is going to happen first turn for the boss. This is going to happen second turn. This is going to happen every turn, actually, I think. Yeah, we do act for sure, HD. So I would think this will happen every turn. This will happen every 2 turns. And I guess both of these is what I would think will happen every 3rd turn. But that's on the boss's 3rd turn, right? So we'll get the first turn you should get without yellows being affected, I think. And then your second turn, you won't be... you'll get your second turn, and then you'll get froze. So on the 3rd turn, when it's time to try and break the stupid shield, I don't know. We'll see. They read funny. The blog would be great for sure if they break it down again. But yeah, if you have Powerhouse Hogan, he is interesting, right? I mean, like, also, I don't know NWO Hogan well enough. Powerhouse Hogan could be interesting if he's someone you had leveled, because he's going to make a bunch of blacks, have some multiply gems out. Certainly could buff the black gems with the tiara, grow it a little bit, that sort of thing. My Hogan's here somewhere. I never use him. There he is. You know, something like that. Once you're going, you're just going to cycle it all the time back and forth. That definitely could be something that works, right? You could also potentially do this setup. Yeah, we talked about him, Mobstash. Don J really likes this move set for him, and I think he's definitely onto something. You keep growing the buff, you don't have to give up your turn with swipes, and you'd keep growing the buff. This is the one you mean. Boss battle, Sensei. But yeah, Hogan definitely could potentially do things for you. Even with the wild cards, if they link up, they can count for things. But the yellow moves you'd want to stay away from. So this is the move set you would want. As opposed to this wild card set, you're stuck with the yellows, so I'd stay away from that. But you might be able to do something with this one. Also, there is potential on some of these guys that generate Striker Braun as yellow. We talked about him, so he's out of the equation because of his yellow 35 MP move. That might be every turn, might be every other turn. We don't really know. So that kind of hits Striker Braun really hard. The 35 MP yellow. Honky Tonk Man will be great. With the... You put up one, somebody's gave me a screenshot with a higher Honky Tonk Man. Right? I mean, you're making 36 black gems on a mobiles. Back and forth, no problem. Yeah, we were talking about him, and then it was like, yellow move, somebody mentioned. I'm like, yep, you're not wrong. Same thing with Showboat Orton, yellow move, so worthless on that finisher unless you can get 35 MP. I think so too, Evo. I feel like it's going to be easier than it looks too, but you never know, right? You never know. Anyone, like we talked about, that can grow their Striker Orton, yeah. Come here. So, you could absolutely run him if you wanted to. Yep, we talked about Trick Biggie. 100% Trick Biggie. So, Striker Orton, the randoms is good because they go quickly, and the black can recycle itself. So for him, I likely wouldn't even bother I'd only bother with this move and this move. And I wouldn't use anything else because chooses are too slow and all that stuff. I would use this move and this move, and if you have it, a Foley plate, and then just spam the black move over and over and over. He doesn't have a buff though, so I actually like Biggie and Alpha better. I think both Biggie and Alpha are going to do better than Orton. But certainly a possibility if you already have Orton Gold and you don't have those other guys leveled and you don't want to level someone else. Certainly a possibility. You can use Hall of Fame Bree for um, two extra gems, and then Titus for 4. And then you can use Riddle with 1, Hogan with 1. Either would work. Powerhouse Hogan or Riddle. I don't know if RJ... No, he's got yellows. So his finisher... How big does RJ's finisher get? Because something that can recycle itself is always interesting if it gets to a big enough area to recycle itself. That could be interesting. Along those same kind of lines, you know, no gem buff though, so it is just what you got. But once you get there, if you have Alundra on, should recycle itself. Alundra and Elias. And then you just hit that one move over and over. Sadly, there's no buff to grow with it. But that's interesting. Somebody, I think, asked about Shamrock earlier. He has a buff, as I recall. Oh, let's see. I mean, I wouldn't use NWO Brett, but maybe someone already did. There's no good way to get back to the moves necessarily, and it's choose. So like if there was a skill plate that when you broke black you got green, then the jumping hook kick would get really interesting to me, potentially, with the Northern Light suplex. And then you have to have a red move equipped. But the choose would take too long, right? So you just need a red move equipped. It doesn't really matter what. But there isn't that skill plate. So so until then it's not super interesting to me. But if there was a skill plate that broke black, gave green MP, then the jumping hook kick could be super interesting in conjunction with the buff for sure. But right now, no on Shamrock. His finisher goes to 3x3 on... so yeah, no buff again. But you could spam RJ's finisher. 3x3 is 9. And Elias would get you the 10 all the time. Although, I believe when it makes a wild card, you get 1 MP in boss battle. So you wouldn't even need Elias. And you could get to RJ's finisher and then just spam the finisher the whole time. Probably not enough, but it's out there if you have him gold, you know what I mean? I do like the buff theory with Sean here, with this moveset, and this one I don't have. So this one, and this one. That could be really interesting with Bad Attitude. Yeah, he does have multiplies. They're random, which means you don't have to choose. So you could potentially just throw them out. Maybe you put someone like Sin Cara on with them. I don't know how big the multiply gets, but you could just hit this move finisher, that move finisher, back and forth. Eventually you're going to start connecting them, right? If you get enough black gems on the board, a Tiara could buff it. But you need at least 6. So you would need this to go up by 1 and then like Sin Cara. Sort of thing. They do only hit black. Yeah, that is the drawback. So it wouldn't always be there. But it could grow it with the Tiara and this if you had enough black gems on the board. Random is fast, so that's the good part. But definitely a good possibility here. Yeah, Acro Snoop absolutely would work well. I still think NWO Seth's going to work well. Not NWO Seth, I'm sorry. Mutant Seth. I was thinking about NWO Brett because Chris is giving me a hard time. But sure. Where is he at? Come back here, ding-a-ling. Right here. I don't even have a strap on. Yeah, he should still be fine, Mutant Seth. I refuse to call him Meth. I think that's just weird. But yeah. So mine isn't strapped, so I'm going to go against something equivalent that's not strapped. Let's see, who's somebody that would... Evo, are you still here? Not what I want. Come on. Four-star gold on the road. What tours are four-star gold? Hard mode? Probably hard mode is four-star gold now, right? With no straps? Yeah, that's the meth thing has been going around for Mutant Seth. It's that is not my name of choice, personally. What's that? Is that four-star bronze? Yeah, okay, no. We don't want that. Let's how about Vader? I'll just hit Vader. That's 5-star bronze, no strap. Close enough. And I can find him. So thirsty. I think I can find him. Where's Vader at? I never go for him anymore. Normal round 3? No. Where the heck is he? It's normal. I think it's normal. Round 4 maybe? No. I think I would remember this. Used to do like so many previews on him. Art? I could swear it was round 2 or 3, but these don't look familiar. That's not Bath. No. I can't remember at all. Not Balor, no. I already looked at this one. Where the heck is Vader? It's definitely not the Bailey one. Where is Vader? It is SummerSlam, right? No, it's Royal Rumble. That's why. I knew that. Ah. I knew that. Yeah. There we go. A little more hit points. Five-star bronze. With no strap. Auto clear tickets, Joseph. Now, usually the specialty tours are about it. Right? The best spot. So any of the specialty tours. You're not going to be great for sure, but you will spam them at 500%. So, you know, you can probably easily beat 7s and 8s with Brett. I don't know. There's probably a varying level of people in here. But I would imagine you could beat 7 and 8s with Brett. Typically, any of the specialty tours Joseph pay out seem to. So whether it's the weekend tours, so if you're going to use auto clear tickets, I would hit those up. Otherwise, any of the event tours that are up all month. Probably 40. Trish, I would bet 40 or 50 if it can hit 10, because the bulk of it is from the gem damage, and that gets 800%. So 8 times on the base. So I would bet you're probably like 40 or 50, right? Something like that. He should be quite good. Hall of Fame Sheik with both gears should be really dang good. Not that anyone has both gears. I don't have one gear. So I mean, like, in boss battle, the animation's not super slow. You don't have to wait for a pin. Yeah, I mean, you'd probably get a bunch of cycles off with NWO Brett. You only have the gold gear? I mean, that's the best one to have, right? The silver one's gonna be much easier to get in the future. That's just the way that works. So yeah, I mean, that'll work. Just because you're spamming it, right? Anything that you can spam black gems is going to be decent. It's just better to have one that can build or grow. Dusty needs the yellows, so that kind of rules him out completely. So you can't really do anything with Dusty. Yeah, go fly a kite, Chris. You jerk. Yep. We did use Acro Edge earlier, Sensei. You missed it. Yeah, Dusty is too much choosing. He's a good one. It also depends. We are unsure 100% about the finisher. HD says the finisher doesn't get RVD's bleed to proc, so we're pretty sure finisher won't end as a turn, so you should be able to keep stacking the downward spiral. It is annoying that you have to do a choose in there, but it's not the end of the world. But he should be good. Pretty good like this. Yeah. You should be able to keep growing the downward spiral as long as you don't have to swipe, which you shouldn't have to. So yeah, absolutely. If you have Edge Gold already, I think he's one you can plan on doing some good damage with without having to level someone up. Evo says 2 cycles on Snoop, so probably like 20 million on Snoop. Ish. 20 million around as far as damage goes, so okay, not amazing. I think Alpha is going to be super good because you don't need to touch the board, so you're going to be able to grow it. Of course, anything, if the freeze to all your moves does happen on turn 2, it's going to get really interesting how that's going to work. So, like after turn 1, so we'll have to see how the turns play out. Roman, of course, could be decent with something, you know, like this sort of thing. Actually, I don't know if you can work his multi in to get back to blues. So I think you have to run him with the Spine Buster. And the buff, again, to grow the damage. The problem is, it does go up to 9. So you're going to need to try and clip a blue, right? Or use a skill plate. Honky Tonk Man's green to blue, right? Yeah. Either way, there's that or the Dom plate. So you have one of those equipped and you wouldn't have to worry about it. This is a huge number at 246%, though. 250%. So you grow that one pretty big. It is a lot of choosing, though. Z-Taker should be fine, yeah. He should be similar to Snoop most of the board, right? So I don't know how fast his animations are. Sometimes those gems, trap gems, take a while to blow up the board. So probably same sort of scenario where you're looking at, you know, 20 million a turn ish. Stunning Steve probably okay. I really, really like Alpha and what's his butt? Trickster Biggie with the Eternal Positivities getting their buffs off over and over. I think they'll both be pretty solid if they're set up properly. That's mostly what we talked about. Can't use Orton, can't use Braun, can't use Dusty. Zombie Triple H, too much choosing. Nakamura have a black build? No. Zombie Drew has yellows, I think, to make that moveset work. Yeah. Edge absolutely can keep growing. So can, yes, Riddle for sure, Scott. 100%. We talked about Riddle. Yes. Riddle should be an MVP. But yes, Edge is definitely in that category where he can keep growing, just like Roman there. MVP, I am rusty on. Let me look. Hall of Fame Brett should be solid. I am really rusty. I loved MVP, so a lot of choosing. Lot of choosing. That's the problem I see. So only if you're trying to do lower level ones, you know, same, you know, that kind of thing. Yellow, he's yellow. Bulldog does Bulldog do a bunch of black gems? The new Bulldog? I can't remember. I thought he was red, so probably not him. Jay? Does Jay do? My blue, green, green. Nope, don't see anything for black gems there. No J. Honky Tonk Man. New Honky Tonk Man. He can make 36 black. Yeah, Edge does have a choose, but and so does Roman. So I don't know if they'll be as fast, but if you, those are two that are your, if you have them, you probably already have them gold, right? So hopefully, you know, that they can be enough to get through it. The finisher is random, so that's faster. And the choose these, do keep in mind you need to get 10 MP now. So 2 3s won't load your spear like normal. So that's something to think about. So with Edge, I actually probably would put who's the blue? KO. Yes. Kofi 100% will be fantastic. So this is for sure how I would run Edge with KO. Then 2-3 matches gives you 10 for the finisher. Makes the choosing way simpler. No, I looked at him mosh with Nico. The base is really low. Really want to, because I'm like, oh, that would be really cool. I actually looked at him. Let me go to him. I'll show you. It's a great shout, though, because I think it's actually kind of close. Kofi will be a monster for sure. No question. You're talking about the roll-up kick. It's 2 purple MP, bonus per green. So 800% is 48k per green. Mine is not super leveled, though. And it doesn't grow huge, but it does grow. Mine's only 4-star silver. If you had yours gold for some reason, potentially. The problem is getting those purple MP again. And we have the purple gems to green, not green to purple. Because getting back to the purple is the thing. You could use the choose to destroy theoretically, but again, it's high MP, and it's just gonna random greens, random blues. So while it's fun to think about, it just won't be enough there, right? I mean, like if you have your Gargano leveled up and you want to use them, you can probably clear 7s and 8s and stuff. Yeah, Sensei. Yeah, great choice of verbiage by me. Yes. Well then. So yeah, but Gargano's a good shout in theory because of that move, right? Like, if we ever get one of these with purple, Montez would be really fun. Someone said Priest earlier, because, you know, he's got probably this thing going on, I would guess, and this thing. Really high charge moves with no perks in boss battle. Gonna make doing anything with him rough. And black to green, or black to blue, making green gems. Just we don't, I think, have the proper equipment. Maybe, hold on. 2 MP. It's just not, it's all too high. I mean, you'd be looking at some goofy kind of tricolor. Not a big area on greens and way too high charge. And how do you get back to the blacks? No. I don't see any viable way to make him decent. I looked at him earlier too. I'm like, oh, that would be really cool. You know, what is there any way you could make him useful? I just don't see it personally. Someone else maybe has it. I also thought about, like we said, Kofi. The only reason I haven't shown Kofi more is because mine is still 4-star gold. But the main thing would be these two moves right here, right? These two with the honky tonk blues. Sadly, that 1 MP is difficult to get because you don't just get it when you swipe. So filling this is going to be difficult. That's the problem with Kofi, is you're going to have to try and get a purple match somewhere. So that's why he's not as good as some of those others, but he should still be good. In particular, if you have the honky tonk plate, he's 6-star and you have the sub too. That could make up for some damage because that sub damage is big and instant. Could help as well. Riddle, you want this? There you go. You absolutely could, Zandel. And that would be the way you would want to for boss battle with SOS. How big does it go? It's small here, right? I don't know that it matters because it's not improving very much, and that's a very small bonus. Probably because of how little it is. Granted, this doesn't stack on that. It won't work on the SOS. But I would guess because of how small the bonus damage actually is. In boss battle, that won't be worth your animation. I think that's most of them. Oh. That I can think of. Before I wrap up, any last questions, thoughts, etc.? Snoop should be really good though, Zandel. Let me check the portal on the SOS and see if it's 62K. So let's say you had your Kofi Gold. Yeah, it's only 4,000 on the SOS. So even at 8%, it's only 32K per green. That's nothing when you're talking about hundreds of millions of health. I would use those trainers, yes. Not Lacey. Flat would be better. This is just on there because more people have Lacey. Flat would be better. But so Mherex would give you 1 on your multiply. I don't know. I don't know, Chris. For sure, I would keep Hall. 100% I would keep Hall. Mine's +2 though. Man, so I just don't know. Maybe Mherex, I don't know. Mherex over a flat gem. Let's see if we can. So it's off of the base. Let's think either way here. Base is like 9.6K. So Mherex is an additional 10K per gem that's out there. Let's say most of the time you have 10. You're looking at 100K. If you have all the green gems out there, you're choosing at least 10, plus all the other ones that are out there. And flat is 2.2K. 10 gems is 22K. Yeah, no, Mherex would be better, I think. Looking at it that way. Yeah, Mherex should be better, I think. Does that make sense? Because we're going off of the base, and at 5-star gold, your base is around like 10K, I think. Ish. 9K. Let's go back here, because that's a good question for those that have Mherex. It, of course, depends how many multis you have. So 1 extra off of your base. But then the multiplies work weird, too. So yeah, I think Mem's definitely going to be better. Because your base is 9.6, so. So if you even if you have like 6 multiplies, 1 extra, that's still like 54K versus 20 gems at 2.2K on the greens, right, is only 44K, and 20 would be a lot. So yes, I do think Mherex is going to be better for sure, Chris. And that's also not counting if multiplies, how multiplies work with base and then the percentages. That I'm not as clear on. Multiplies sometimes work kind of funny. Sometimes they get bigger than you'd think. Oh, that's awesome, Sensei. That is huge, actually. Everyone in the world is going to hate me for what I just picked up. You want to see what I just picked up affiliation-wise? Yeah, that's huge with the acros I have. I was ecstatic. So there's times 3, 24 left. Yeah, it's the vault is the dumbest thing ever, my opinion. And let me just clarify my opinion. It's fine if you've been doing it most of the time the game has been out, but I mean, 3 of these, and there's like a total of like 30 of them in there. You get 90 chances at level 22, and there was a bunch to the previous one, and then it moves to having a shot at legendary ones too. But it's, I mean, you like Trish said, yeah, that's years to get to the level, um, years to get to level 22, and then it just doesn't. It doesn't make no. It makes no sense for a new player, in my opinion, or anyone that hasn't been using the vault for years. It just makes no sense. It's really dumb, in my opinion. So that's where though. It's good, Goose. I got to drive to the airport in a little bit, so after I get done here, I'm gonna get showered up and get some energy drinks and stuff and dinner, and then head out to the airport to pick the son up. He's coming back from the Rocket League tournament in Texas that was going on. Okay, we're good there. Usually I'm always busy. No, never have enough time. This guest got to sleep less. The affiliation, Mayo, was this one. For Cena, so now I can use 2 acros in feud. Oh, he wasn't playing in the tournament. His friends were, Sensei. I didn't keep track of it. I know K Corp at least made it to the semis, and then Optic was his other friend there. So I'm not sure how. I didn't ask him how. I'll talk to him about it on the drive back. But he was having a great time, so I do know that. He gets to see most of. He's got a bunch of like friends from all over the world, and a bunch of them were there for this one. And then one of his really good friends from Florida was there too, so he had a good time. Yeah, that's huge. I have good acros, so that's huge. Let me see if anyone's streaming champions that I can raid. Oh, I'd be all for it, Gearoid. Um, what they should do is just give anyone new to the vault, you have the same odds of pulling from every tier. I mean, there's how many tiers in that freaking thing? Let's just take a look at this. So my suggestion would be make it so you can pull from any tier. They're not locked, but there's a bajillion. We got tier 1 to, what does it go to? 10 tiers? And there's how many items in each tier? Like, probably an average of at least 10 items a tier. So you're talking like to hit one specific thing, you have like 1 in 100 chance. So just open up all the tiers when you pull. Don't keep them locked behind the other tiers, and then maybe some new players could have a shot at, and it might make more sense. I don't know. The whole vault was a poor choice of way to do this, in my opinion. It's great if you never stop doing it. Otherwise, like, I'm even behind a lot of people, and I started like right about when it first came out, and then quit for a while. The vault is really dumb. Yeah, 146 pulls to get to level 23, so that's what, half a year? Right? You get one a day or something like that, I think, right? I don't know. I don't pay attention. It just is what it is. It's completely outdated. I would be completely fine, IRL Gearoid, with being new subscribers being able to access it. You know me. I think the way it is at this point, this far along, is completely ridiculous. So I'm completely with you. That needs completely reworked. It's a lot of months. Yeah, Timmy. A lot of months. Yes, sir. And yeah, like, the strap pass is really, so my advice to anyone is, to me, the only pass in the game that I think is really, really valuable, worth getting, is the strap up pass. I wouldn't get any of the others. That's what I would tell everyone, in my opinion. Just the strap pass. They need to update all of them for me to say, in my opinion, they're good for other people. Yeah, Sensei. The old stuff is, like, not good at all. It was questionable even when it came out. But yeah, the strap pass is the only pass that I would tell anyone to get that's worth it, in my opinion. I think the strap pass is really good. The rest of them you shouldn't get, my opinion. Very clear on that. Probably shouldn't say that on the Stamp Champion stream, but it is my opinion, and I'm gonna say it. Does Strap Pass give VIP of chance from VIP Triple H? No idea what that means, Nems. Once you pull them from the vault, you do get the rental characters. They are not good. Not DX Army Triple H. You get stupid Triple H and stupid HBK. They are horrible. Really, really not good. And I don't know anyone that wants to put resources into them. They tried to give them gears to make them better. They're not good, even with the gears. And their coaches aren't really even needed 99% of the time anymore. Green sub, 75% more. What's his sub? It is 8K. Yay. In this day and age, yay. They're not good. I believe it, Blag. Yeah, the vault is bleh. In my opinion, just making it clear once again, it is just my opinion. In no way is what I'm saying an official Scopely statement. It is Mherex Gaming's opinion and nothing more. Disclosure. 100% disclosure. Everything you have heard on today's stream is only an opinion of Mherex Gaming. If it is not correct, he holds no liability. If you do poorly in boss battles with any of these characters, it's not my fault. I blame Danje, because I can. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna probably call that a stream. Hashtag blame Mherex. Absolutely, Gearoid. Absolutely. I gave my advice on what I would do with the VIP subscription months and months ago. Starfill frags, TP, tokens on a prize wall. And then the Blitz gives you credit for the prize wall. So you just, like, I haven't done the VIP Blitz in over a year. I haven't done the King of Kings tour in over a year. I don't even know if it's still in the game. I couldn't tell you. They're complete, not even worth the trouble. But there should just be a prize wall in there for those things that you can get something useful. icon straps, specific straps in general. You know what I mean? And then you just save up your currency from the blitzes and cash them in, and then just do away with the vault. Anything that's in the vault, just throw on the prize wall. Convert people's existing vaults into the prize wall, and then you get the currency from the blitzes and the King of Kings tour. It's really simple. And then put a bunch of good stuff in the prize wall, and you could always just reload it. And if someone doesn't want it, no big deal, they just don't buy it. Pretty simple. That's my thoughts. Make everything in the vault on a prize wall. And then add starfill frags, TP, specific colors, you know, coin, tokens, all that stuff. And then you could literally people could get whatever they wanted, and it would be completely customizable. So I don't like just complaining about something and saying it's not good, in my opinion, because that's not helpful, right? So my suggestion to fixing the VIP passes is take everything from the vault, put it on a prize wall, assign it a value, and then you get currency for said vault from doing the VIP blitzes and the King of Kings tour. Then no one should be mad. And it's actually useful. And then throw some star frags in there. Problem solved. You're welcome, Scopely. I just made you a bunch of money. Make it happen. People will be happy. You'll make money. Everybody wins. That's a good way to end the stream. Let me see if there's anyone I can raid officially. No. There's no one I can raid officially. So we'll just call it a stream this way. I think that's a great ending. Scopely, if anyone's listening, move all the stuff from a vault into a prize wall. Give currency from blitzes and tours that now are worthless. And then new subscribers could get whatever they wanted as well. They just have to earn the currency like current subscribers. Hey, what a wild idea. Take care, guys. Thanks for being here. See you next Monday.